My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Big cities, big names, big legacies, big sisters and brothers, big ideas, big expectations, big stage, big results. That's the Big East way.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mulaney Gym here inside Alumni Hall in Providence, home of the Providence College Friars as they get set to take on the Georgetown Hoyas in Big East women's basketball action. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, we take a look at the projected bracket as it stands as of today, and here's what the teams would be.
Yeah, parity. Last weekend of the year, Mike, only one seed is set. It's the DePaul Blue Demons at number 1. A lot of action Friday and Sunday, a lot of movement. This is a big one tonight as well.
And now we're going to send it on over to the third member of our team tonight, Madison Ski.
Yeah, bottom line here tonight is that both teams want to win. Some keys to the game. First, from Hoyas head coach James Howard, says he wants 40 minutes of effort from both sides of the floor from his team and defense execution to prevent the Friars in transition. And similar to that, Providence head coach, Coach Crowley, says he also wants solid defense from his Friars, and no surprise here, to dish the ball in the paint. Back to you.
And thank you, Madison. Obviously some important keys to the game for both sides there as we get set to tip off here in Friartown. The Friars in the home grays today with the black numerals. They'll be advancing from left to right across your screen. Georgetown, the road navy with gray numerals as the Friars win the opening tip. They'll go to work with Erlette Scott, who's joined in the starting lineup by Kayla Webb, Kira Spiewak, Mary Baskerville, and Andrea Cooper. We'll get to the Georgetown starters on their first offensive possession. Here's Spiewak settling in the corner. She'll dump it in for Cooper. Already 10 on the shot clock. Spiewak pulls up for the jumper and hits.
Yeah, good patience, good spacing, good ball movement. Good start by the Friars. Talk about some of their offensive struggles, Mike, over the last couple games. That's a good start.
Georgetown now, it's Brianna Jones with the handle. She's joined by Marvelous Osagi Arisi, Anita Kaleva, Brianna Mayfield, and of course Taylor Barnes, the Impact grad student transfer from Memphis. Near walk that time from Mayfield, and already 5 on the shot clock for Georgetown. Three-pointer on the way, won't fall for Jones, and the rebound to Webb and the Friars. Her pass nearly picked off that time by Brianna Jones.
Coach Howard, and you heard Maddie talk about transition defense as well. Friars looking to run.
Yeah, I'm talking to Coach Crowley earlier tonight, saying that he really wanted to get the tempo going, a faster pace. I'd like to see the Friars take advantage of some of those unsettled situations in transition as Kayla Webb puts up a tough shot, won't go. Baskerville there for the rebound. Puts it up, won't go, and this time it's going to be saved barely by Brianna Mayfield.
Yeah, second chance opportunities. You want to limit the Friars to one chance, one shot. Your Georgetown team trying to find a way to win on the road.
Going to work is Barnes. Puts it up and in. Very smooth stroke that time for the grad student out of Memphis. Figured to be an impact player coming into the program for Coach James Howard, and she has been all of that for the Hoyas.
Plays big minutes, is a consistent scorer. Coach Howard said they were really looking for a veteran presence. She only has 1 year in the program, and she's certainly been a difference maker.
And a quick foul that time. I believe they're going to settle on Barnes as a guilty party. That'll be her first of the night. The non-shootings, the Friars will just get a new 20-second clock here with Erlette Scott handling the inbounding duties. We'll take a look there at Coach Howard, his third season now as the head coach of the Hoyas. And it's been a bit of a difficult week, I think, for Georgetown, but we'll get to that a little bit later. in the broadcast is Spiewak. Was able to catch it, but they're going to get a blocking foul away from the ball on Mary Baskerville. As there's head coach Jim Crowley now in his 4th season. Earlier this season, picked up his 300th career win when his Friars beat the University of Massachusetts all the way back in November. Barnes rejected by Baskerville with authority, and here come the Friars. Arlette Scott nearly turned it over, but a fortuitous bounce wound up back in her hands.
Yeah, Baskerville, just such a talented shot blocker, averages 2 a game. Her timing is really terrific, and she keeps spacing with her body mic.
Spiewak, the miss from the outside, and the rebound into the hands of marvelous Osagi Arasi. And the Hoyas looking to take their first lead of the night. Kaleva, leave it back now for Jones, and around it goes from Mayfield.
It's 4-guard offense for the Hoyas.
Jones pulls up for the jumper. Nothing but net.
One of the captains, a transfer from Louisville in her 2nd year for Georgetown. It's a great looking stroke. The mid-range game. A lot of movement that possession by the Hoyas.
Friars trying to work it on the perimeter. Here's Webb from the outside, and she delivers the 3-point bomb.
Shoots at 41% from beyond the arc, and her ability to knock down shots will really open up that paint area. It'll stretch the Hoyas defense and certainly allow Baskerville some more room in that paint.
Yeah, that 41% for Webb from the perimeter, 2nd best in the Big East, also tied for 3rd in terms of 3-pointers made, but that one goes 1 ahead. From the outside, though, the answer, Brianna Jones lighting them up.
Yeah, Kier Spiewak, you've got to know the scouting report, just too much room. Quick pull that time, and we talked about her offensive capabilities.
Both these 2 teams coming out swinging here in the opening quarter. Both shooting the ball fairly well. As Arlette Scott looking for an opening, had to pull up the dribble. Here's Webb. Kick out for Spiewak, and now Cooper out high, down to 5 on the shot clock. They go to Baskerville on the inside, and no one there to stop her that time.
That's really good patience. You talked about tempo in terms of pushing the ball up the court. Coach Crowley talked to us about that flow in the half-court setting as well. That time it was a very good possession and certainly paid off with a high percentage shot.
Georgetown now with the score tied. Kaleva, a miss from the long-range jumper. Baskerville, an easy rebound. And again, the Friars pushing that pace with Scott. Gets inside the lane, the kick out, and the jumper. Baskerville can't hit. And it's Osagi Arasi who comes away with it.
Osagi Arasi, such a great story, earned a scholarship this year, played sparingly her first 3 seasons, and really worked her way into the starting rotation.
Yeah, I think Brianna Jones feeling it. Another long-range jumper to give Georgetown the lead back. Already past the midway point of this first quarter. Pretty frantic pace here in the opening part of this one. We were wondering how these teams would come out tonight.
Well, 2 of the lower scoring teams in Big East play, and they're certainly on fire in this first quarter.
Kier Spiewak hitting from downtown to give the lead right back to the Friars. And that's already their second 3 of the night. Friars now 2 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, look for the coaches to make some defensive adjustments. As hot as these teams are offensively, there haven't been many contested shots. There's another open look.
Oh, good rebound by Mayfield, and then a travel as the Friar D holding tight. That'll bring us to a break in the action here in Providence. Friars leading this one 10-9. We'll be back with more right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
right? We gotta be all in, all right? And we gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
And welcome back once again to Mulaney Gym here inside Alumni Hall. The Friars have jumped out to a 10-9 lead, and take a look there at the Georgetown bench. And Pam might notice a few players not there anymore as 3 players leaving the program. They'll enter the transfer portal immediately right now.
Yeah, they decided after the last game against Marquette. Certainly a little bit unusual, but a great opportunity for this Hoyas team to deal with adversity, show some resilience. And if I'm a player, I'm going to be opportunistic. I'm going to make the most of these new opportunities to get some time on the court.
Absolutely, and obviously, you know, the team a little bit rattled, but they've settled in now, and these players are hungry. They're ready to get that extra playing time and try to make a difference here tonight and pick up a win on the road.
Yeah, only 5 wins on the season, so it's certainly been a tough year for Georgetown, and we heard Madison talk about one of the keys from Coach Howard was he's looking for that effort. He's looking to see who's going to step up as they're continuing to try to build some momentum, pivotal seeding, try to get something going as they prepare for the tournament out in Chicago.
Yeah, that was the #1 thing he said when he came to the keys of the game, effort. And I think he would have said it 3 times if we would have let him, but we made him give us a couple extra keys there. So here they go with the Friars, back to work now. A couple changes as entering the game is Chanel Williams and Alyssa Geary. So Mary Baskerville getting a quick break here for Providence as they do have the luxury of the 2 bigs. Here's Webb from the outside, left it short, and that one's easily collected by Tayana Jones. Now Georgetown looking to get the lead back. We've already had a couple of lead changes here tonight. From the outside, won't fall this time for Jones. Kaleva, though, strong move and able to get that inside position.
Yeah, good timing on that rebound, soft hands, certainly a good finish.
The Friars now will work it through Spiewak, and now Geary. Geary can do damage from the inside and the outside. This time trying to post up against Jones with the left hand and in.
Yeah, she's really worked on that step-through move. Has shown some good versatility in that low post area all year. And you mentioned she's a tough guard because she can step out and hit the 3 as well. A very tough matchup.
And at 6'4", one of the top shot blockers in the Big East as well. A miss on the inside, a foul on the rebound. As again, there was Geary getting that inside position, blocking out, and able to draw the contact.
Jones with a strong move to the basket. Tried to chase that rebound, just a little bit too aggressive.
The foul did go against Hannah Jones, her first of the night. As they look inside for Cooper. Webb now trying to free herself up. Leaves it for Spiewak. Good look for 3 and rattles in, getting the friendly roll tonight.
Yeah, really good movement without the basketball. Spiewak reacting to the dribble drive by Webb, and again, very unselfish play by the Friars.
Friars trying to find some of that perimeter shooting form that they had early in the season where they were in the top 15 in the nation. Spiewak, a big part of that, had cooled off during Big East play, but off to a nice start tonight as another miss is going to go into the hands of the Friars. Williams really pushing the tempo down the floor. She'll rotate it over. Here's Cooper now trying to get down the lane. Scoop shot up and won't fall. But Andrea Cooper will head to the line shooting 2.
Yeah, the Friars' ability to put the ball in from distance, again, really spacing out the Hoyas' defense. Cooper that time saw the lane, strong move to the basket.
We were talking with Coach Crowley earlier this evening. You know, we were discussing, you know, leadership and players that have been stepping up as of late. And, you know, he singled out Andrea Cooper as someone who's really kind of trying to take that mantle for the team. Of course, Cooper, a junior this year, one of kind of the elder statesmen for this team. And they've been waiting for someone to step up, and she's finally been doing that.
Yeah, very young team. Coach talked about he's looking for that tone setter on both ends, and Cooper certainly has given this team some great minutes this year. She's an undersized post, Mike. It really comes in, rebounds the ball, plays good D. Now we're seeing her be a little more aggressive offensively.
Unfortunately for her, though, missing on the free throws. So the lead stays at 4 now for the Friars. as Barnes works it up the floor against Williams. Curling around this time was Cassandra Gordon, a sophomore from Santa Barbara, California. To the outside it goes. Kaleva trying to work inside, nearly traveled, but was able to get it off to Jones. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Tough shot that time as Spiewak, some nasty defense to make that a little bit more difficult. Williams on the inside, Cooper back outside. It goes to Geary. Is everyone getting a touch here for the Friars? Already down to about 1:20 left in this first quarter. Geary stared at by Kaleva. Up and in and one. Alyssa Geary getting it done on the inside.
With the Euro step, and again, Coach Crowley, a good look at the Euro step and the step through using her size. The Providence offense is built on getting the ball into the paint and ball reversal, moving the ball with the pass and without the dribble. That'll be a highlight that they clipped. That was great execution on that possession.
Kaleva picks up the personal. A senior from Zagreb, Croatia. Started her career at the University of Maine. As Geary now at the line. The season has struggled a bit at 52%. But looked pretty good on that one.
Well, she's a good shooter. That's a part of her game she'll have to work on. She's getting more touches in that low post. She's going to have more opportunities at the free throw line.
And now the first look at the Twin Tower formation here for the Friars with Baskerville and Geary on the floor. They do have that size advantage, especially in the paint against this Georgetown team.
Friars showing some zone.
And it pays off. Baskerville comes up with a steal and was able to get it off the Spiewak, but Baskerville very slow in getting up as she went down awkwardly and has yet to really been able to move. That's basically a 4-on-5 here for the Friars. Geary taking matters into her own hands, and the referee finally stopping play as Baskerville did not move far away from that spot. Again, got kind of twisted up with one of the Hoyas and just kind of
got
caught.
She really used her mobility to get around the low post and deflect that post entry. We saw her will to get on the floor and try to gain possession for her team. Walk it off. The trainers will certainly take a look at the talented sophomore.
And that's really the last thing the Friars wanted to see or needed, as Baskerville, the reigning freshman of the year in the Big East, their leading scorer, leading rebounder, and the top shot blocker in the conference. We'll keep an eye on Baskerville and if she'll be able to return. If not, that's a huge development for this one. Final 35 seconds here in the first quarter. Hoyas facing their largest deficit of the night, trying to climb back in this one. A jumper way too strong that time from Shania Wright. And the Friars now will push it the other way. Erlette Scott for Spiewak. Decided to hold off on the three. Now Williams going to get called for the travel. Just got a little bit too fast for her own good that time.
Williams is the motor. She's going to push tempo. She's a distributing style point guard. She tries to get downhill. That time just rushed the move, but she's going to get in the key and try to kick it back out.
Shot clock off here, final 8 seconds. Hoyas holding for the final shot. It's put up, no good, as Gordon couldn't hit. Well, maybe Williams will have a chance. And that one just off the mark. 10 minutes in the books. The Friars leading this one by 9. We'll be back with more from Providence right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence Women's Basketball on Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're gonna work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go storm. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
And welcome back to Mullany Gym here inside Alumni Hall. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, the one thing we know, next week, a week from today, the Big East Tournament at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. Tickets are still available. Should be some outstanding women's basketball action. You can get your tickets at www.bigeast.com/WBB tickets. All kinds of packages available. And certainly you're going to see some amazing players on display. But back to this one here in Providence. One thing we noticed right before the end of that quarter, Mary Baskerville going down with some sort of ailment, but saw her with the trainer, got her ankle all taped up, and was even doing a little bit of light jogging. She remains on the bench now for the Friars. We'll see how long it takes Coach Crowley to get her back into the game.
Yeah, make no mistake, she's their featured player. She's been a 2-year starter. She's so efficient from the floor. For her career, Mike shoots the ball at 56%. You talked about her rebounding and shot blocking ability. She's the foundation. They're really building the program around her. It's a young team, and certainly having Mary Baskerville back will help the Friars tonight.
Absolutely. So now here's Jones dumping it inside that time, trying to connect with Wright. Wright going at Geary. Puts it up, too strong off the glass, and another rebound for Alyssa Geary. And it comes now for Scott. Heaven Bristow's also entered the game now for the Friars as Kayla Webb looks to distribute. Geary inside for Bristow. Going right at Jones, up and in. Strong move that time by the freshman.
Bristow is a scorer. She's got a nose for the basketball. Put up a ton of points in high school. That time that was good movement without the ball as well.
Long range shot won't fall for Barnes, and we have a foul underneath the hoop. And I believe it's going to go against Chanel Williams of the Friars, and that'll be her first personal of the night.
You know, Coach Crowley has to be very pleased right now with the team's offensive performance. This is a Providence team, Mike, that's only scored 42 points in each of their last 2 contests, already with 22 points on the board, and they're just in a very good flow offensively right now.
Well, the one thing we noticed, even the pregame warm-up, they look looser than they've looked all season long. The kind of tightness was gone. They just looked like they were out there to have some fun, and they've started that way. But Georgetown not going away, of course. Brandon Jones able to hit from the outside. She now has 9 points to lead all Georgetown scorers to this point.
Well, Brianna Jones has really been the most effective Hoya right now.
As Bristow is going to get called for the travel. Just got a little bit out of control that time, working her way down the lane.
Coach Crowley goes deep into his bench every game. They have a lot of balanced minutes. We're going to see a number of different Friars on the court tonight.
Barnes, the leading scorer, at about 12.5 per game, held to just 2 so far. As Georgetown tries to hit from the outside, that time it was Jones. And this time the mid-range jumper will fall for Brianna Jones. And a miscommunication that time as Williams and Alyssa Geary got their signals crossed up, and now Mary Baskerville will check back in for the Friars.
You mentioned Jones. You know, maybe we're going to see her on the sideline someday, Mike. She's been one of the players selected to go to the Final Four WBCA So You Want to Be a Coach 3-day workshop. Good opportunity for her to learn from some of the best.
Another outside shot, this time Barnes. Baskerville there for the rebound, and seems to be all right after getting that ankle taped up. 3-pointer on the way for Webb. It was a good look, but she just couldn't hit. Jones comes away with it. Now pushes it quickly for Barnes. Barnes hustling up the floor. And she'll leave it now for Gordon. They work it inside for Kaleva. And the Friars nearly getting a hand on it. Webb getting away with a little bit of contact as well. Here's Jones from the outside again. Wow, some funky spin on that one. But another 3-ball for Brianna Jones.
Coach Howard called her a rhythm 3-point shooter. And he said if she gets off to a fast start, watch out.
Yeah, certainly heating up here. The lead now down to 4. And another turnover by the Friars leads to transition offense for Georgetown. Big collision underneath as Barnes came flying through. Everybody seems to be okay. Kaleva hitting the wide open jumper, and Coach Crowley's going to call timeout. And Not sure he's so happy with what he's seeing right now, but it brings us to a break in the action on the floor as well. With the Friars holding on by 2. We'll be back with more from Providence right here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
You're watching Georgetown basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
.03 left here in the second quarter. Friars a 2-point advantage. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, we were just looking over some of the stats here. Big one jumps out right now. Second quarter scoring.
Well, the Hoyas 9-2 advantage, and they're starting to turn up the heat defensively. 5 Friar turnovers at this point, and that last possession forcing the Crowley timeout. Georgetown just flat out out-hustled Providence on that series.
Certainly did, and seeming to have a little bit of the momentum. See if the Friars can get back on track. It'll be Erlette Scott with Webb, Baskerville, Cooper, and Spiewak. Spiewak on the perimeter, already 2 for 3 from beyond the arc tonight. As they rotated over for Baskerville, now skipping on back for Spiewak. Here's Webb for 3. Left that one a little bit short, but Cooper there to keep it alive.
What a great heads-up play. Andrea Cooper able to get a hand on it.
Erlette Scott matched up with Caleba. Puts up the long-range jumper, and again, the Friars just seeming to leave a lot of these shots a little bit short so far tonight.
Little hesitation that time by Scott.
Jones leaving it off for Gordon. She'll put it on the floor, hoists it up and in. And just like that, an 11-point lead of the Friars is gone. We're knotted up at 22.
Gordon's had 4 starts on the year. Scored 10 points recently against a very tough Blue Demons team from DePaul.
Friars have had a little bit more trouble now getting inside the paint. As Georgetown has certainly tightened things up defensively. Here's Webb floating it up and in. Strong move time by Kayla Webb.
Great concentration. She kept her eyes on the rim. Good follow through. Nice adjustment with the high arching shot.
Here's Jones putting it up and in. Brianna Jones continuing to light it up here. She's got 16.
No answer for Jones so far defensively.
Tied up once again at 24. Cooper. And we're going to have a foul on the Friars. Now it's time to send it on over to Madison Ski for another update.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Coach Howard stressing in his timeout to continue their 5-out style and open up space because obviously Brianna Jones is hitting those jumpers with 14 points and just do a better job overall of covering the paint because Friars have almost half their points from inside. And on the other side, Coach Crowley saying get the offense back into their groove because those turnovers have really prevented them and given Georgetown momentum here on the back stretch of the second quarter. Back to you guys.
And thank you, Madison. And right on cue, the Friars turning over Georgetown and converting that into a three-pointer from Kira Spiewak, her third of the night. We'll see if the Friars can continue to ratchet up the defense as they kind of left them for a little bit in this opening part of this quarter. Allowed Georgetown to get all the way back in this one.
A lot of screens on the ball in the Georgetown attack.
Kaleva going hard to the hoop and is going to collide with Cooper. Drawing the contact, she'll head to the line for two.
That was part of the scouting report. You can see a very hard hedge. It's a defensive maneuver to really help defend a screen on the ball. We saw Scott jump out early at the top of the key, but Kaleva on the baseline able to find a little bit of room to pick up that foul.
Kaleva on the season, averaging 6 points per game, but a very good free throw shooter, 85% on the season. And you're right, Coach Crowley, in talking to us, discussing all those ball screens and the isolation play, something that the Friars are going to have to figure out defensively to stop this Georgetown offense. So a 2-point game once again. Friars looking to extend the lead. Here's Kayla Webb. Spiewak freed up for three. Won't go. And Caleb with the rebound. Osagi Arisi. Work it over for Caleb. Brandon Jones, who's had the hot hand, gives it off to Grace Ann Bennett. It's kind of a game time decision. She's been day-to-day for the last couple of weeks, but was able to give it a go tonight. Trying to keep it alive. And it's Spiewak who comes away with it for the Friars. Erlette Scott now trying to get past Jones. Puts it up and draws contact. Went down hard. Is able to kind of laugh it off as she gets up.
She's really crafty with the basketball, Mike. She has both hands. She's got great vision. This time Scott decides to keep it herself, but she's also at 5'10", got that strong frame where she can really absorb some contact. She wasn't able to finish, but that was a nice take by Scott.
You could see how she was protecting that basketball as she tried to elevate against Brianna Jones. So just the first on Jones here tonight, and just the first team foul on the Hoyas in the quarter. There's a little bit of instruction from the officials on where they set up on the blocks here. Scott on the season, 79% from the line.
You're talking about two teams trying to stay out of that 10th place spot. This is a real game. Really test of pride, Mike, and little things like taking care of the basketball, making free throws, limiting second chance points. Those are going to continue to be factors and really keys in terms of who's going to come out of this with a win this evening.
Kaleva lost the handle for a moment. Cooper trying to knock it away. Scott trying to tie her up, and she does.
Well, and you can see that effort. How many times have we seen players on the floor already tonight?
Yeah, no doubt about it. From an effort standpoint, I would think both coaches have to be pleased to this point.
You talk about positioning. You don't want to be in that 10th spot and play the 7th seed, but you flat out talking to both these coaches. You just, from a pride standpoint, you don't want to finish the regular season in last place. You want to start to build some momentum. You certainly want to rack up another W. So this is a big game for both of these teams.
The Friars go to work once again on the offensive end. Here's Alyssa Geary. Swings it on over. Scott able to elevate and hold it down. Here's Cooper, long range jumper. Rattles out. Osagi Arisi now the other way. Under 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
There's that screen on the ball.
Pass a little bit low that time from Osagi Arisi as cutting towards the hoop was Bennett.
Well, we've seen that a couple times. Bennett's 6'3". We've seen the guards try to give her bounce passes that are just low percentage. When you're trying to hit a big, I always prefer to get that ball up in the air, make that much more catchable. We've seen 2 turnovers now trying to deliver a low bounce pass to the big center.
Yeah, those passes bouncing well under her knee. Very tough to get down that low and come up with it. You're going to say last touch by Jones. She nods ahead and agrees. And the Friars down to 15 seconds on this possession. Work it through Cooper. A little bit more of a shortened bench for the Friars tonight. Haven't seen as many reserves as we normally might. Here's Webb from the outside, and another 3-ball for Providence.
Well, an assist, Kira Spiewak. That's a beautiful flare screen. That was a called play, a set from the bench. Webb, we talked about her ability to shoot the ball from deep.
Friars now 5 for 10 from beyond the arc. We got the lead back to 6. Osagi Arisi, met by Spiewak and Webb, pulls up for the jumper, left it short as Geary was there to help alter it as well. Webb now in transition. Leaves it for Geary, in rhythm, for 3, and she hits. Timeout called by Coach Howard. He's got some things he needs to talk over with his Hoyas. The Friars, a 7-0 run over the last 1 minute and 57 seconds have taken control of this game once again.
Well, and Coach Crowley said the secondary break is one of their most potent attacks. Talked about Geary's ability to pull up from deep. And that time, good recognition by Webb. We've seen Providence have a little bit of a lull in the second quarter, Mike, but over this 7-0 surge, they've really, again, got that tempo up, whether it's in the half court or on the run. And this has been a game of swings already.
Yeah, it certainly has. The Friars had led by as many as 11. Georgetown came all the way back. And now the Friars has pumped it up back to 9 points. In the first meeting back on New Year's Eve, Georgetown prevailed 62-53. But it was an even game through 3 quarters. And they came out and went on a 26-10 run to close the game as the Friars just kind of fell apart in that one.
Yeah, Coach Crowley called it a fourth quarter collapse. And let's talk about the dominance. This is a Providence team that's lost 10 straight to Georgetown. So this is certainly an opportunity to get that monkey off the back as well.
Yeah, no one wearing a Friar uniform has ever beaten Georgetown here, at least with this edition of the team. Cooper able to come up with a steal. Now here's Spiewak, the jumper, and cans it.
And again, secondary offense. You do the initial push. Nothing there. Hoya's too slow. Didn't communicate. Didn't pick up. Good recognition by Spiewak.
Kira Spiewak now up to 13 points to lead all Friars. Just over a minute left. Georgetown reeling a little bit as the lead has gone back up to 11. And Osagi Arisi that time able to drive and initiate the contact. Will be heading to the line for 2. Foul charge to Kayla Webb, just her first. Again, foul's not really an issue for either side right now. A chance here for the Hoyas to get a couple points back. The clock stopped. Marvelous Osagi Arisi on the season, 73% from the line. It hasn't taken a ton, it was just 19 of 26. A senior out of East Orange, New Jersey. Winds up splitting the pair. Checking back in now will be Cassandra Gordon. As Osagi Arisi gets a little bit of a breather. And some instruction from Coach Howard. Friars now just over a minute left here in the quarter. Trying to maintain this double-digit lead. Geary working against Kaleva. Cooper now on the outside. Geary leaves it for Williams. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Spiewak trying to get to that corner. And someone's going to have to shoot it. It's going to be Williams for 3. Won't go.
Yes.
And now here comes Jones.
Sorry, Mike. Good defense by the Hoyas.
Now about a 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock to close out the half. Let's see if the Hoyas could put something together here. Brianna Jones, who's had the hot hand, leaves it outside, but we're going to have an offensive foul. Jones a little out of control as she was releasing the pass. That's her second personal. And the Friars, a good opportunity here. 17.2 seconds, plenty of time to get a final shot off.
Great job by Cooper to step in. Jones recognized she was double teamed. She made the right play, just got out of balance. And Cooper shows the courage, stepping in, drawing the charge.
Spiewak, who's had the hot hand, we'll see if they could find a way to get her the ball, but Scott lost the handle. Final seconds. Jones at the buzzer. Wouldn't have counted probably if it went. And that'll take us into the break. 20 minutes gone by, and the Friars had an 11-point lead. Then saw it get tied up, and now they go into the locker room with a 10-point lead in what's been an entertaining game to this point. We'll step aside as well. We'll be back with more from Friartown right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
And welcome back once again to Mulaney Gym here inside Alumni Hall in Providence. We are at the half, and the Friars enjoying a 10-point advantage. And at this point, we're gonna check out some of the good stuff that's going on at Creighton. The Blue Jays have some exciting stuff with their team culture.
The entire recruitment with Creighton compared to other schools, it was just different. Like when you talk to other schools, they wanted to know like some facts about you, but it wasn't necessarily you as a person, whereas Creighton, they took a genuine interest in who I was outside of basketball, and then I felt like their morals and values kind of lined up with what I was looking for, so it was really just perfect.
The biggest thing that stood out to me during my recruitment at Creighton is the effort. They made it a point to really build a relationship with me and my parents. They were constantly in contact with me, asked me how my day was, really getting to know me as a person and not just a basketball player, and I think that makes the world of a difference.
We think it's important to treat people the right way, to treat them well, to be demanding, but also to take care of them and let them know that we're here for them, we're here to listen.
Flan understands that basketball is just a small part of life and there's a lot more to life than that. And I honestly think that that contributes to our success on the court because it takes some of the pressures off you and you kind of just are free to play and to grow and to know that it's not going to be perfect.
We're also about more than just the athletic experience and the student experience. I think it's important that you give them an opportunity to experience as much of Creighton as is possible for a student athlete. So we probably monopolize their time a little bit less than some programs do, and when we are on the road, we let them do things that are cultural and educational.
When you're not constantly at each other's necks in practice, and we get to go do fun things when we go on these trips, so you get to learn a lot about each other. You know, there's so many examples of kids that you would never put together as friends that become really, really close friends, that it shows you the importance of having those off-court encounters.
Coming into college, you don't really know what to expect, but the culture here and the people here, you have 11 built-in best friends, and I can say for a fact that if I'm having a bad day, every single teammate would be able to just listen and give advice, whether you really need to hear it or not.
The one thing that strikes me the longer I've been in coaching is just how great a job our players do at looking out for one another. Juniors and seniors are really mindful of the adversity maybe and the stumbling blocks that freshmen and sophomores are going to go through, and I think they do a great job.
The people here, the community here, the experience you have here, teammates, all of that, when you reflect back on it, it's well worth it.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
Welcome back once again to the half here in Providence. The Friars with a 10-point advantage, but as we always like to do, time to take a look at the week that was in Big East women's basketball. We'll start with the player of the week and the freshman of the week. And there it is, two of the top players in the league.
How about Mary Gadeka bringing it on not only senior day, but Harry Paretta's last home contest helped get the sweep of DePaul and Marquette. What a weekend. It's the first time any school in the Big East has swept those two teams since the 2015-16 season.
Which was also done by Villanova. And now we'll take a look at the Big East honor roll for the past week as well, and some familiar names on that list.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have a vote, but I would say Jalen Agnew has to be the front runner for the Big East Player of the Year. And Maddie Segrist, we're going to get our first look at her on Sunday in this gymnasium in Friartown, and she is running away with that Freshman of the Year award, Mike.
Yeah, already a 10-time Freshman of the Week award winner and on the honor roll once again. So with that, time for us to step aside once again. We'll be back with more from the half in Providence right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
We're all in, all together. Great voices right at the start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go show them. 1, 2, 3.
Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
I felt like I was going to spend my whole adult life paying this off.
Thanks to SoFi, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
As of 12 p.m. today, I am debt-free.
We have no debt, we don't owe anybody anything, and it's fantastic.
And welcome back to the half here in Friartown. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker, and it's time once again to take a look at the bracket for the Big East Tournament as it stands coming into the weekend. But as we've discussed a couple times already, only one seed has been locked up, and that's the number 1.
If you're a basketball fan, it doesn't get any better than this. March Madness starting early. Pivotal games tonight, certainly including this game, and we've got a Villanova at Creighton, and we could go on and on as every game pivotal as these teams work for that positioning.
Absolutely. So once again, we will step aside for just a few moments. When we come back, highlights and stats from the first half right here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
Join the conversation with hashtag Big East.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
Minutes away from the start of the second half, but time to check out some of the highlights from the first 20 minutes here in Providence. Early on, the hot hand was belonging to Kaleva of the Hoyas, chipping in as well. Their teammate Cassandra Gordon able to hit the jumper. The Friars, of course, would get scoring from many parties throughout the first half of play. Actually, Jones getting involved as well. She finished with a game-high 16 in the first half to lead all scorers, but then the Friars would go to work on the other end of the floor. Kayla Webb, slippery, able to float it up and in before the three-pointers started to rain down.
Yeah, Mike, and the Friars had some success really with secondary transition. Spiewak, the leading scorer for Providence in the first half with 13. And you talk about Andrea Cooper, number 33, the hustle play. Cooper did not show up in the scoring column, but she really had an impact in this first half. And that young lady, Kayla Webb, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. Really solid minutes, 8 points out of the star sophomore. And you talk about Georgetown. Again, there's Cooper. Some turnovers started to mount for the Hoyas. And again, Cooper doing all the little things. Great inside outlook. Again, to Spiewak, who's had a hot hand here, at least in that first half.
Certainly has, and we'll take a look at some of the numbers in particular. Check out the three-point shooting by the Friars, 50% from beyond the arc. That was a big part of the story in the first half.
And shooting overall, 54% for the game for a Providence team that, again, has really struggled to score recently. So very productive tonight by the Friars. Look for the Hoyas to try to tighten up that defense.
Yeah, the other one that jumps out, the 11 assists on the 14 made field goals for the Friars, just 1 assist for the Hoyas. And now we're going to welcome back the third member of our team, Madison Ski, for an update.
Speaking with Coach Howard at the half, talking about one of his keys to the games, that being transitional defense. He said overall, offense and defense, there needs to be more discipline. We're giving up turnovers and not challenging it with good defense. And in addition to that, he is pleased with Brianna Jones' first half performance with 16 points and would like to see that consistency throughout the rest of the players. Back to you guys.
And thank you, Madison. Of course, defense is going to play a big role down the stretch here tonight for both sides. As the Friars did a pretty good job of limiting Georgetown, especially in that first quarter, but then the opening minutes of the second quarter, you saw Providence get a little bit lackadaisical. Then Crowley called the timeout and kind of reset everybody on the defensive side.
6 lead changes already tonight, Mike, so it has been a game of runs. Both coaches looking for effort. They're looking for some consistency. This game has the feel of who's going to be able to put it together, who's going to value the ball, who's going to limit second chance opportunity, who's going to make those hustle plays, and can the Friars continue to knock down shots at this rate?
Oh, and perhaps the biggest question is what Providence team is going to show up in the fourth quarter. Obviously, we got the third quarter first, but the fourth quarter has been the nemesis for the Friars so far this season. Certainly happened to them on the road when they played Georgetown back on New Year's Eve, as we discussed already. But that has been a big issue for the Friars so far this season. But also good news for the Friars. Baskerville back out there. Again, a little bit of a scary moment for Mary Baskerville when she went down awkwardly earlier in the first half. First, when she was being helped off by the trainer and Coach Crowley. I think nervy moments for everybody here inside Alumni Hall.
The whole crowd held their breath, absolutely. Such a key to the Friars' attack on both ends. She's such a presence in the low post offensively, defensively. She's a game changer, her ability to alter shots and certainly really anchor that paint area.
So we'll flip sides here for the second half. Georgetown will be moving the ball from left to right across their screen. Friars from right to left. Osagi Arisi and the Hoyas at the first possession here of the third quarter. They'll go to work. And they work it into Barnes, who was relatively quiet in the first half. It's a quick jumper off, won't go. Kaleva, though, has it wrestled out of her arms, but last touched by Spiewak. So it'll stay on this end with the Hoyas.
Yeah, Barnes, we featured Barnes. She's only 1 for 6 with that last miss, only 2 points. Talked about the transfer's impact. She's been one of the most consistent Georgetown players, leading scorer.
Yeah, they were looking for that veteran presence, and they certainly found it in Taylor Barnes. Done nothing but lead them in points this season, also in steals, so active on both ends of the floor for Coach Howard. Oh, nice feed on the inside, but unable to convert was Brianna Mayfield. She's going to wish she had that one back.
Absolutely. That was a great dish. And again, dribble penetration, able to break down the Providence Friars defensively. That was such a great opportunity.
And the travel on the Friars. And Coach Crowley a little bit frustrated there, but the Friars pick up their 9th turnover of the game. Come in averaging 17.5 in Big East play. Dead last in the league in turnover margin at almost 6 per contest.
It's been a real Achilles heel.
Shot from the outside won't fall for Barnes. Baskerville hauls in the rebound, and now here comes Scott. Into the corner, wide open Spiewak. A little too strong, and Baskerville couldn't quite grab it. Brianna Jones now. We'll leave it off for Osagi Arisi. And now the Hoyas will reset.
Providence has been doing a nice job getting back in defensive transition.
Oh, on that play, though, Mayfield able to slip in behind the D, and it was left wide open down the lane.
You're absolutely right. That was a slip. That was a ball screen. Again, screens on the ball in a big little situation, such a big part of the Georgetown attack. That time, both Providence defenders went with the ball handler. That was a good read and a nice assist.
Friars still looking for their first points of the half, and they will get them from Andrea Cooper.
Yeah, and speaking of a nice assist, again, Kayla Webb.
The Friars continuing to do an excellent job sharing the basketball. 12 assists on 15 field goals tonight. Friars, who average only about 11 assists per game in Big East play, already above that mark, and we've got plenty of time left in the third. Barnes trying to heat up, but her long-range bomb will not fall. Spiewak outside for Scott. Gets inside the paint as they work it around. Spiewak for 3, too strong. And Barnes comes away with it. Continuing to dribble all the way down. Now leaves it off for Jones. Jones puts it up, won't go. And Baskerville collects another rebound. Already with 5 double-doubles on the season, 11 for her career. I'm sure the Friars would like to get her a little bit more in the scoring column here tonight with just 2 points so far.
Little set offense.
And they go inside to Baskerville. Mayfield all over her and was able to redirect that shot. Scramble for the ball. Baskerville able to tie it up. And possession arrow belonging to Providence.
Yeah, it doesn't happen to Mary Baskerville that often. Mayfield at 6'5".
And the referees having to separate some players. Baskerville fired up the tail end of that, as was Mayfield. And referees are sending the players to their benches now. And now a technical on Mayfield. And she just couldn't let it go at that point. Not sure if they're going to take a look at anything as well. Not sure I saw any physical stuff going on, just more verbal it seemed at that point.
Well, first of all, I started to talk about Baskerville getting her shot blocked. Mary Baskerville, 6'3", great size. Mayfield listed at 6'5". That led to the initial altercation. Certainly frustration out of both teams at this point. You know, you're talking about two teams that are 2-14 in Big East play.
Saw Jones kind of coming over her back, and then Osagi Arisi coming in, and Cooper coming in to defend, and shenanigans ensuing. And there you see Mayfield started jawing a little bit, the official telling her to relax, but then she just couldn't let it go, and that's what got her teed up.
Well, and that's where you'd like to see one of her teammates grab her and corral her into the huddle.
Again, it's been a difficult week for the Hoyas. They're trying to persevere and, again, take advantage of the opportunities presented for some different players as Coach Howard tries to settle everyone down.
Yeah, officials trying to sort it out. It looked like there was a double technical initially.
So here's another look at the play. Jones are coming from behind and really grabbing Baskerville. Baskerville saying, what's going on? And then Osagi Arisi coming up, and that's where things started getting a little crazy. Barnes with some choice words, I'm sure, as Cooper stepping in to protect Baskerville.
Absolutely, you're certainly going to step in.
So we'll see as the official comes over to speak with us. We'll see what she has to say.
The play that stopped the game was a jump ball. We're going to see if anything happened during that jump ball.
Getting a good explanation from the official. The initial call was a jump ball.
Unsporting technicals that were offset and a technical right now against number 2. So we'll come back and let you know how we're going to proceed with that. If there's nothing else after the monitor, Providence.
Appreciate the explanation by the official. We'll have that for you right now.
All right, so basically they started with a jump ball. So jump ball, that's what stopped play. Then there were offsetting technicals, one on each side, but then there was an additional technical, and that one was the one charged to Brianna Mayfield, as we saw when she was being guided towards the bench. And now they're actually going to take a look at everything as well on the monitor to see if anything else needs to be handed out in terms of any kind of punishment.
It's a good opportunity for both teams to reset as the officials sort everything out. You talked about Coach Howard trying to settle his team down. Team that's dealt with a lot of adversity. He really wanted to see how they responded, especially some of the players that were going to step into new roles. And one of those players he outlined for us, Mike, was Mayfield, to see how she was going to respond and make the most of this opportunity.
Mayfield, a junior from Landover, Maryland. So while they try to figure things out here at the table, we'll step aside for just a few moments. We'll be back with more from Providence right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
So, Kayla Webb will be stepping up to the line here. She's shooting the 2 technical foul shots as the technical awarded to Brianna Mayfield. And the Friars will also have the ball when play resumes. as we try to get all the fouls situated. There's another foul on Barnes. So it looks like Barnes also picked up one of those technicals. And we'll see who the Friar one is on as well. Did they get Baskerville or was it on Cooper? And it was on Cooper for coming in late. So the technicals offsetting on Cooper and Taylor Barnes, and the additional one, which we just saw the foul shots for, on Brianna Mayfield. The Friars with possession and a 12-point lead. They go inside to Scott. Little shake and bake, kick out. Spiewak lost a handle, got it back, had it poked away again. As some tenacious defense there out of the Hoyas. Caleb came up with it.
Yeah, look for the physicality to really increase. We've seen the intensity level go up significantly in this third quarter.
Sagi Arisi calling for a screen. Wright will come out to set it. Lost it inside the paint. Another tie up. And this time, it'll actually go back to the Friars.
Coming out of that little bit of a scrum, you like to see that quick jump ball, Mike. You don't want players rolling around at this point in the game. It was a good call by the official.
So Chanel Williams back in now. Spiewak will get a quick rest. As Erlette Scott calls out directions. Williams, not really a threat from the perimeter. They'll give her a lot of space. Geary left that one short. Another opportunity, though, after the offensive rebound for the Friars. Friars now with 4 offensive rebounds on the night. As Williams continues to hold, floats it up for Geary. Shot clock expiring, but Williams able to deliver.
Well, she picks and chooses her moments. You mentioned teams really don't play Williams as a perimeter shooter. That's exactly the time Coach Crowley likes her to take the ball to the basket.
Barnes forcing a tough one up. Gets to her own rebound, and then a foul on Williams as she tried to battle for the loose ball.
The Georgetown ball out of bounds.
Second personal foul on Williams. Friars in the midst of a 6-0 run have built their largest lead of the game. Jones without a point here in the second half after putting up 16 in the first. Right up and in and one. And Shania Wright, the sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, will be head to the line to attempt the three-point play.
And the Hoyas hanging around. They're doing it without their leading scorer, Barnes, only 1 for 9 from the floor. The player we featured in the Open that has been so consistent, really struggling to put the ball in the basket tonight.
Wright steps up and converts. The lead back down to 11, about midway through the third quarter. Erlette Scott leaves it for Webb, and now down for Williams. Geary on the inside. Kick out for Scott. She'll put up the 3. Line drive won't go. I'm not sure that shot ever really got above the rim.
A little bit flat. Scott's really working on adding that dimension to her game. Wants to be a pure triple threat.
Barnes trying to get around Williams. Won't go. Geary the rebound, and now here comes Chanel Williams the other way. Puts on the brakes, now gives it off to Scott. Using the screen from Geary. And again, just lost a handle as she was trying to get position on the inside. Timeout on the floor will step aside as well. With Friars leading this one 42-31. We'll be back with more from Providence right here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
Big cities. Big names. Big legacies. Big sisters and brothers. Big ideas. Big expectations. Big stage. Big results. That's the Big East way.
Healthy crowd taking in some of the action here inside Alumni Hall in Providence. And the home side on top by 11. Big East tournament just on the horizon. 1 week from today, the action will be taking place at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, home of the DePaul Blue Demons. Tickets still available. Don't miss any of the action. Get your tickets today at bigeast.com/WBB tickets. And again, all kinds of different packages to suit your needs and find the games you want to support your teams, or just check out some outstanding women's college basketball. So the Hoyas finding themselves down by 11. Trying to slowly crawl back in this one. Would love to get it into single digits by the end of the quarter. And both teams struggling here in the third, as Providence only with a 6-5 advantage. Williams trying to get to the loose ball, knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Hoyas.
A little bit different look defensively coming out of the timeout. We've seen the Friars mix things up at the defensive end.
Comes into Kaleva. Wright had it rejected by Cooper. Friars, fast break opportunity. Webb spins it back out for Scott. Now Webb once again trying to take the baseline. Scott trying to penetrate. Comes around for Williams, and a traveling violation. As again, too quick for her own good sometimes is Chanel Williams.
A turnover on both ends. Right, you saw her lose the basketball. Both these teams so aggressive. You've got to be ready to really catch that ball, be strong with it, especially in traffic.
Here's Jones from the outside, and boy, has she cooled off here in the second half. Barnes, she can't hit from the outside either. But a foul on the rebound attempt.
Boy, you're starting to really hit the offensive glass. Going to get a foul on that blocking out situation. Hoyas have definitely gone cold in this third quarter.
Georgetown only 1 for its last 8 shots from the field, 0 for their last 4. Kaleva, though, able to take the inbounds pass and convert right away.
Uncharacteristic of the Providence Friars defense. That was just a quick cut to an open space in the zone. It's one of the easiest baskets of the night.
Geary, as the Friars continue to work it around the horn. Back over for Williams, cuts inside, leaves it off for Baskerville, who finishes.
What a quick first step out of Williams. Baskerville's been a little bit quiet in this third quarter as well.
Yeah, spent a good chunk of it on the bench. I think Coach Crowley just trying to preserve her as much as possible, get some of those rest minutes for her. Might need her down the stretch. Is that another miss from the outside? And three-pointers hard to come by so far tonight for Georgetown. They are just 2 of 13 now from beyond the arc. Jones had 2 way back in the first half, but nothing since.
And Jones really hurt the Friars in that first meeting, which was almost 2 months ago. She put up 14 points off the bench. But you mentioned the big sophomore struggling a little bit from the floor this evening.
Here's Geary, puts up the jumper and rattles it home. Friendly roll again here tonight in Alumni Hall.
Her footwork's so good. That time she stepped back right into a squared up position. She kept the basketball high, and we know she's got that great shooter's touch.
Friars back up to a 13-point advantage. As it comes around, Barnes slings it for Jones. She'll put it up for three. Short again. And Williams, one of the smallest players on the court, able to come up with the rebound. Geary with the handle. Looking inside for Baskerville, the spin move and finish. And Coach Howard's got to call timeout. The Friars on a 6-0 run with their largest lead of the night now at 15. Mary Baskerville starting to get involved on the offensive end. She's got 6, and we've got a break in the action. We'll step aside as well right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Georgetown Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
We're all in, all together. Great voices ready to start, great energy. We're getting excited about what we do, all right? You know how together you are. You know how hard you're going to work, but you also know how good you are. Let's go, Storm. 1, 2, 3. Together!
This is our time.
When we bring it together and we all locked in, we coming back in this locker room with a victory.
That's the Big East Way. The 2020 Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
And welcome back to Mulaney Gym here inside Alumni Hall. The Friars have built a 15-point lead, their largest of the night, much to the delight of their fans here tonight. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, the Friars just getting it done, especially on the inside.
Offensive execution really from the opening tip has been much sharper. We've seen a number of Providence games, and Coach Crowley really all year has been working on that offensive flow, moving the ball with the pass versus the dribble. Using the dribble to go downhill, you saw that with that Chanel Williams drive, really attacking and dishing. Positive assist to turnover ratio tonight. 8 Friars in the scoring column. They've got the balance and they really have the execution, and it's paying off on that scoreboard.
Yeah, the Friars up to 14 assists now on the 19 made field goals. Friars cooled off a little bit from beyond the arc now, just at 6 of 16. They were at 50% at the break. Georgetown hasn't been able to really get anything going here in the third quarter. Another miss from Barnes, who's just been having an off night. Friars will go back to work on the other end with under 2 to play here in the third. Webb for 3, won't fall. Caleb of the rebound. And now Brianna Jones will work it up the floor.
And again, really solid transition defense by Providence.
Jones now trying to work against Spiewak. Gets it off to Tayana Jones. Kaleva. And we're going to have a touch foul on Baskerville. And that'll be her 3rd of the game. Well, one of the only players in any kind of foul trouble on either side. Coach Crowley will make a couple changes or let Scott back in. Webb will get a rest. It looks like he'll leave Baskerville out there for now. As Kaleva at the line. Kaleva so far tonight, 7 points, 3 of 4 shooting from the field, and 5 rebounds. But a missed free throw there is not going to help her out.
one of the captains of the team, leads the Hoyas in minutes played in Big East competition, 34 minutes a game. So that shows you how instrumental she is to the Georgetown attack.
And is basically a post player. That's a lot of minutes to absorb. Kaleva, their team leader in rebounding and blocks. Bristow. And around it goes now for Scott. Back over Geary. Really sharp, quick passing here by the Friars as they try to open something up. And Bristow goes to work, spins around, and gets it to go.
Well, you called it. And the only time the ball hit the floor was on that power dribble by Bristow. That's exactly what Coach Crowley has been imploring his team to do.
Friars outscoring Georgetown 14-8 here in the third, and another rejection from Geary. About a 6-second differential here. The Friars will push the pace here. It's Williams. Won't go that time, however, as coming down with it was Shania Wright. We'll see how quickly Georgetown will go to work here with about 20 seconds left in the quarter. Shot clock is off. The Hoyas just having converted one of their last 9 field goal attempts. Nothing in the last 3 minutes and 12 seconds until that shot from Taylor Barnes. And boy, did they need that one.
They sure did. And Coach Howard talked about Barnes being a streaky shooter.
Williams at the buzzer. Won't go. Probably would have counted. Looks like she had gotten it off. However, it does not fall. And we will head into the intermission with Providence maintaining a 13-point lead. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right here on the Big East Digital Network presented by SoFi.
You're watching Georgetown basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
All right, we gotta be all in, all right? We gotta make sure we play with great passion. You have felt each other and helped each other and allowed yourselves to be helped with that, all right? We've got a great opportunity to do that today.
This is who we are.
When you look to your left and you see your sister over there, you help her. Because what we are one. Let's break it.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That's the Big East way. The 2020 Big East Women's Basketball Tournament at Wintrust Arena. Get tickets now.
And welcome back to Friartown. The home side leading this one by 13. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker, and it's time to send it over to the third member of our team, Madison Ski, for another update.
Thanks, guys. Friars head coach, Coach Crowley, emphasized to his team, like you said, Pam, it's going to get more physical here in the fourth. So protect the ball, stay strong, be smart on D, and rebound, because the Hoyas have converted off of offensive rebounds in the third quarter. And obviously not wanting a momentum shift here going late into the fourth. On the Hoya side, Coach Howard wanting to get the perimeter game going again, moving the ball, isolating the D, and ultimately see the pass and knock it down. Back to you guys.
And thank you, Madison. Of course, yes, we've seen some of the physical play already step up in the third quarter. And now this is the quarter that has been the nemesis of the Friars all season long. Can they get a solid 10 minutes and close this one out? Brianna Jones left it short with the air ball. Arlette Scott able to bring it back the other way. Webb, the deep three. And won't get the friendly rim to go that time. And coming away with it now, Tayana Jones, a sophomore out of Selma, North Carolina. Cassandra Gordon. Kaleva out to set a screen. The kick out now for Jones, but Geary there to seal it off. Here's Gordon for three. And Erlette Scott swooping in for the rebound. Friars really running the floor here. Geary on the outside.
Boy, did a nice job getting back in transition.
Bristow, Webb, and now Scott. As the Friars content to take some time off the clock. They go inside the Spiewak. Tough shot, but gets it off the window.
Little shot fake. Really sets up that step-through move.
Friars at 50% from the field for the game. 21 of 42. Georgetown struggling at just 31%. Barnes going to work, looks for Kaleva. That one won't drop. Bristow the rebound.
That was a good idea. Again, the lid just on the basket for the Hoyas.
Webb floats it in for Bristow. And Bristow through the lane, able to draw a little bit of contact. And we'll be back at the line shooting two. Foul's going to go against Cassandra Gordon.
Good strong move by Bristow. Again, Gordon just never got in position, Mike. She really stayed straight up and down, didn't get into a good stance. Good job by Bristow to get to the rim.
First one is good for the freshman out of Brooklyn. Again, that New York flavor that Coach Crowley has injected into this Providence team in the last couple seasons. And Bristow makes good on the second as well. She'll head to the bench. Get some high fives from her teammate as Andrea Cooper checks back in.
Yeah, good minutes out of Bristow. Really excited about that young lady's potential. Like every freshman, really learning the work that it takes on both ends daily, the level of intensity, Big East competition.
Jones leaving it in the corner now for Barnes. He's had a tough night offensively. That will continue, and oh boy, taking a shot to the head. Not sure if that was from her own teammate. At Tayana Jones getting caught in the side of the head. There was a foul on the Friars. But Kaleva might have been the one that caught her as they were all battling for the rebound on the inside. See if we can get another look here. There's the miss from Barnes. Led to this scramble for the rebound, and
yeah, it really does.
Hard to see from that angle.
Jones going to stay in the ball game.
Yeah, seems to be all right. Lost the handle on the shake and bake, but maintained by the Hoyas. Brianna Jones wanted to launch that three, but Webb was right with her. And the lid has officially shut for Brianna Jones. Scoreless in the second half after putting up 16 in the first.
Yeah, she was really unstoppable early. And really nothing but net. I mean, she was just draining shots.
I think the difference, as you had talked about, her being in rhythm versus trying to manufacture stuff. Barnes, full head of steam, goes right at Cooper. Can't convert, however. Now the Friars a fast break the other way. Scott and Webb, tic-tac-toe passing.
I'll tell you what, that was textbook right there, 2-on-1. Again, we've seen that unselfish play all day.
And the Friars with their largest advantage of the game at 19 points. Again, the Friars have not beaten Georgetown in the last 10 meetings. No one on this Providence team has defeated Georgetown ever during their career, including 3 last year. As the Hoyas finally able to get a bucket back, Tayana Jones that time. Home run pass for Webb, and the circus shot won't fall, but it's knocked out of bounds by Brianna Jones.
Yeah, Webb caught the Hoyas sleeping. He's got behind the back line of the defense. Did a nice job to corral that pass.
Even with the large advantage, the Friars continuing to push tempo, keep the pace at this one as fast as they can go.
Yeah, gut check time by the Hoyas. Coach Howard said we're going to look for effort today.
And these are sometimes the toughest minutes facing a large deficit. And what's been a tough season is Baskerville got the shot off. Big collision. Jones and Baskerville went down hard. Now Barnes the other way. Jumper no good, but Barnes will be at the line shooting 2. And a technical foul issued to Barnes for some choice words after the whistle. And she had gotten the foul.
She got the foul. Certainly a level of frustration. 2 for 17 from the floor.
So the foul was on Erlette Scott, but then the technical foul should be on Barnes. And was that her second technical? I believe she had gotten the technical in the scramble with Baskerville earlier. Or did she just have an initial foul? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, she's been ejected.
Yeah. It just dawned on me. I was like, I think she was the one that picked it up during that scramble, and her night is done. Frustrating night nonetheless for Taylor Barnes. She'll finish with just 5 points. And I think what's been just an overall frustrating night for Georgetown. Offense just hasn't quite been there. But a lot of that credit has to go to the Providence defense as well.
Yeah, what an effort on the defensive end. Providence is known as one of the best defensive teams in the league, field goal percentage-wise and total points allowed. Tonight they're limiting Georgetown to only 30% shooting from the floor.
Yeah, and despite all the troubles the Friars have had, they are second in the Big East in terms of defensive field goal percentage, excuse me, and 4th in overall defense, allowing just 62.6 per contest. So Cassandra Gordon will be shooting the free throws around the initial foul by Erlette Scott. It would have been Barnes at the line, but since she was ejected from the game after picking up her second technical, Gordon will step up to take him. Missed on the first. And does hit on the second. And now the Friars will have a pair of free throws on the other end for the technical on Barnes. And then it'll be Friar ball to take over when play resumes at 5:46 left here in the 4th.
Kayla Webb, a good choice at the free throw line. This young lady on pace to be a 1,000-point scorer. Already well over the 500-point mark as a sophomore. She's one of the experienced sophomores in that talented group we've talked about.
Well, along with Baskerville last year, both of them on the Big East all-rookie team. They were a large part of the Friars' success last year. And saw them go into the 3rd round of the WNIT, where they fell in their final game to these Georgetown Hornets.
Well, and certainly a large part of the future when you talk about the bright future for Providence. And again, they're certainly battling for pride. They want to get the highest seed they can get. At this point, they're locked into playing in that opening night of the tournament at the Wintrust Arena.
And the Friars definitely one of those sneaky teams that I don't think many want to play. They have been in almost every single game this season. It's not like they've been getting blown out on a nightly basis, especially in the Big East.
Well, and you know why that is, right? Because they play that great team defense. Do a great job on the scouting report. They try to take teams out of what they want to do offensively. They're just very tough to score against, and we've seen that tonight with this Georgetown team.
Baskerville able to get it done on the inside. 8 points now for her. And a 20-point margin with 5 minutes to go. Brianna Jones looking for Caleba. Rejected by Baskerville. 2 of the top shot blockers in the league going head-to-head, but then Caleba comes up with a rebound and does convert with the second chance points. Friars getting set to make a couple more changes at the next opportunity with Sophia Widmeyer and Naija Franklin at the table to check in.
Yeah, the depth advantage certainly in Providence's favor. Georgetown suiting up 10 players this evening.
Tied up once again is guess who's on the floor getting things done. Andrea Cooper has had an outstanding game here tonight. even though it might not show up on the scoring column, but has done a lot of the little things to keep the Friars on top here tonight. So timeout on the floor. We'll step aside as well. Providence leading by 18. We'll be back with more from Alumni Hall right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence Women's Basketball on Big East Digital Network.
Stand up stronger. I got the power, gonna raise it up. So high, we're shining brighter. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We got the power, gonna raise it up. We're running ahead, and we got to raise it up.
My parents never taught me anything about managing money.
The amount of student loan debt I have, I'm embarrassed to even say.
We just decided we didn't want debt any longer.
I didn't realize how easy investing could be.
I'm picking companies that I believe in.
I think SoFi Money is amazing.
Thank you, SoFi.
SoFi, thank you. We love you.
.14 left in the fourth quarter. The Friars rolling along here in Friartown. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, this is the final weekend of the Big East regular season before we head to the tournament next week in Chicago. But still plenty of action coming up this Sunday, including a big one here in Providence as the Villanova Wildcats come to town in what will be head coach Harry Paredes' final regular season game in his 42-year tenure at the helm of the Wildcats.
The end of the farewell tour. It's been quite a trip, quite a journey. His impact on the game has certainly been celebrated, and he really has left an amazing legacy, and certainly is going to be missed in this conference and certainly in the Villanova women's basketball community.
And the Big East basketball community at large as well, as he's just certainly left his imprint on the league.
He's not going too far, though. He's going to be an assistant, I believe, to the president, so he'll be at Villanova at least next year.
The Friars tied up there as Erlette Scott got tangled up with a couple of Hoyas. Final 4 minutes here in Providence. Kaleva, as they work it around now for Brianna Jones. And here's Tayana Jones from way outside, and she cans it. And I believe that's the first three-pointer, or maybe the second three-pointer of the half, as they are just 4 of 21 now from beyond the arc.
Yeah, 19% from the game, for the game. And Providence #2 in the Big East in terms of field goal percentage defense from beyond the arc. And they have just really...
And here's what Coach Crowley doesn't want to see, some sloppy play in the closing minutes. Another turnover for the Friars. It was their 15th. Georgetown, however, unable to capitalize as Bristow comes up with a nice rebound.
Got to finish that thought. The Friars have just really locked down the Hoyas from deep. Good overall team defensive effort.
Widmeyer, who's just checked in, looks for Nyasha Franklin, but a zig instead of a zag leads to a turnover. Well, back-to-back turnovers on their last 2 trips down the floors as Brianna Jones pulls up. And there's one of those rhythm shots for Jones, who gets her first points of the half. She now has 19.
Hey, for Coach Howard, that's what you're going to be watching. You're going to see who's going to continue to fight, who's going to play to the final buzzer.
And Osagi Arisi able to get a hand on it. They're going to say deflected off of Scott. So 3 turnovers in a row. And here come the changes for the Friars. They're going to swap out 4. That'll be Georgetown ball.
Going to get the starting unit back in place. And I'll check that Gary's on the floor.
Kaleva leaving it up top. Gordon. And way downtown again. Jones couldn't hit that time, and Spiewak comes away with it. Kayla Webb. The Friars will settle into their offense here, trying to work that shot clock down with just over 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, Georgetown needs a stop.
Lead was as high as 20 just a few moments ago as Baskerville goes to work and does what she does best.
Boy, that's going to your go-to player right there. Baskerville shooting at almost 60% from the floor.
And that's the 6th double-double of the season for Mary Baskerville. 10 points, 10 boards for her tonight. Brianna Jones launches it for 3, and another big three-pointer. And timeout called here by Coach Howard as his team creeping back in, but the clock not in favor of the Hoyas right now with just 100 seconds left.
So for the Hoyas to put some full court pressure, they need some traps, they need to steal, and they need quick scores. They're certainly going to have some stops along with that.
So a full timeout here in Providence as Coach Howard has got to be happy with the effort. And that was the key word he used a lot with us when talking before the game. How would his team respond to all the adversity over the course of this week? Now, Brianna Jones finally getting back into rhythm here, but maybe a too little, too late kind of performance here in the second half.
Absolutely, she can definitely shoot the basketball. She came out on fire. You mentioned the 16 first half points. A lot of teaching still going on, and Coach Howard said in addition to the effort, they're just trying to get better every day. For the seniors, he talked about, hey, telling them, ladies, this could be your last 2-3 games putting on your uniform. So you certainly want the effort out of the upperclassmen. Absolutely going to have to press. Providence, pretty decent free throw shooting team. They're also going to be critical when they earn those trips to the line that they convert.
So we'll see what kind of defense they come out here with. Just 1:40 left. And a couple of late threes from Brianna Jones have made this one a bit tighter than we might have thought it would have been just a few minutes ago. Full court press in effect here. Spiewak trying to get out of trouble. Friars are going to have to hurry to get it across the timeline, and Kayla Webb will do just that. Geary looking for Baskerville underneath the hoop. Wide open look for 3. Short from Webb. And then a foul on Baskerville, and that's one of those silly fouls that they've been trying to avoid with her that we saw more of in the first half of the season. She cleaned it up pretty good, but that's not one that Coach Crowley will be happy with.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Takes time off the clock, or doesn't take any time off the clock, I should say.
Well, and it's her 4th. She's going to come out of the game now with Chanel Williams back in.
You see a little offensive, defensive substitution.
So now things can get a little bit more interesting if the Hoyas can convert another 3. They've hit 3 down the stretch in the last couple of trips down the floor. Osagi Arasi well off the mark that time. And look out. And she was nearly able to pick it off in the air. And this one will stay with the Friars, but only 6 seconds to get across the timeline. And they'll have to start deep in the corner of death down here. It'll be Cooper with inbounding duties. As it comes over now for Webb. Cooper gets it across. Geary, skip pass. Spiewak for 3. Won't go. Tayana Jones now the other way with some pace.
There's opportunity for the Friars to use the clock.
Tayana Jones can't convert. Brianna Jones can. Makes it a 9-point game. And a quick foul.
Hoyas got to have a couple to give.
Non-shooting, as it was only the 3rd team foul. And the Friars will get a fresh shot clock to work with. Chanel Williams.
Such an advantage. She's a one-person press break. Chanel Williams so quick with the ball.
Osagi Arasi looking for the steal. As Webb had to pull up the dribble, lost the handle, and a foul. Nope. Or did they get a timeout? No, they did get the foul. And that's going to go against Marvelous Osagi Arasi.
Another look. Friars will be shooting at the next foul.
Just 27.7 ticks left. 7-second differential, game clock and shot clock.
That's where it's nice having the 6'4" Geary as the target on the inbounds. Hoya's electing not to foul.
Williams leaving it off for Cooper. Denied by Kaleva. An opportunity here for the Hoyas in the closing seconds. And Kaleva, the senior, off the glass and in, but that'll do it. Final seconds will tick off, and the Friars will escape with a 62-55 victory. Long time coming for the Friars. The first time in 11 games they have taken down the Georgetown Hoyas and picked up their third Big East win of the season and improved to 12-17 overall. For Georgetown, they fall to 2-15 in the conference, 5-23 overall. We'll step aside for just a few moments and we'll be back with a couple interviews right here on the Big East Digital Network, presented by SoFi.
You're watching Providence Women's Basketball on the Big East Digital Network.
And welcome back to Friartown. The host Friars victorious over the Hoyas of Georgetown, 62-55. Time to send it on down to Madison Ski, who's standing by with head coach Jim Crowley and Kira Spiewak.
Here with Kira Spiewak. After a great Friars win, congratulations. How was the team able to handle that fourth quarter pressure put on by the Hoyas?
Yeah, I think we just stayed confident and really held to us and stuck with what we were doing well, and kudos to Little. She really was able to break that press.
And with this team win, how does it help you guys prepare going into conference play?
Yeah, it's a big tournament next weekend, so it really gives us the confidence in going into it. We're excited.
Thank you, Kara. Congratulations. Coach, obviously a great win. Talk about how your team was able to stay consistent through 4 quarters.
Well, thank you, Maddie. I thought for 3.5 quarters we played really well. We moved the ball, we were active defensively, and then we're in a little bit of a new situation with a lead late, and we took a few early ones, and we knew they were going to hit some shots at some point, and they cut it. But overall, I thought we had a really solid performance, and we needed W and found a way to get one.
One of your keys to the game was just defense. How pleased were you holding the Hoyas to 30% shooting?
Again, I thought we did a really good job. They got a few going early. Jones had a great first half. But we really came out and locked up pretty good in the second half. We didn't finish great, but there were some really good things to build on.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, man.
And thank you, Madison. That was Madison Ski with head coach Jim Crowley and our player of the game, Kira Spiewak. Mike Mancuso alongside Pam Roker. And Pam, a good effort by the Friars. Yeah, they gave up some late points to the Hoyas, but overall a solid team win.
I'll tell you what, they've been talking about improving offensively and the way they move the basketball, the rotation of the ball, the paint touches that Coach Crowley consistently talks about, and their ability to just catch the ball in a ready position and shoot it really all played into their hands and into this victory. Good execution offensively and really solid 40 minutes of defense.
So that'll pretty much do it for us here in Providence. Final score, the Providence College Friars 62, Georgetown 55. For our outstanding Big East Digital Network team and my broadcast partners Pam Roker and Madison Ski, I'm Mike Mancuso saying good night from Friartown.